Welcome back to class, guys. So today I have decided to make a friendly little YouTube welcome back video. I want this video to address five main critical things as we move forward online for this course. First, I want to just check in with you guys as students. I want to lay out some new things and discuss how things are changing right now, and I just want to be straight with you guys and just lay out some ground rules. Second, we're going to talk about communication, primarily how you and I are going to correspond as teacher to student and how we are going to utilize certain technologies or features of our Canvas course to make sure that we are able to communicate fluidly. Third, we're going to talk about what our classroom is going to look like, our day to day, if you will. I'm going to show you through Canvas some things that have changed in our class. I'm going to kind of go through maybe what a day to day might look like for you and show you some things and talk about how you guys are going to utilize and access course content to complete tasks and goals for the rest of the semester. Fourth, we're going to talk about how do we access content and what main vehicles are we going to use for this alternative delivery system that we are now switching to. Fifth, I'm going to talk about our lecture format and how our lectures are going to change. So let's go back and let's just kind of check in to see how we all are doing. First of all, I know this is an extremely difficult time for all of us. We are all in uncharted territory, and we have never had to deal with anything like this before. This is historical for us as a nation, as a country, and as a world. So just know that I am doing everything in my human powers to create a class that is sensitive to the nature of the new working dynamic in which we find ourselves in, but that's also going to provide good, solid content to make sure that I am able to deliver the course outcomes and objectives for you all as students. I am spending a lot, and when I say a lot, I mean a lot of personal time creating and switching all of the projects that I have designed for our class to this new online format. I have spent the entirety of my spring break and weekend working very, very hard and diligent to make sure that I can provide the best education and most considerate education to you as possible. So know that I am thinking about you guys. I am working very diligently to provide those things for you. And I have really done a lot of research. I have some prior experience with e-learning platforms. I've designed a few for other in another life for other courses or for other universities. So I have some good experience with it, but this week for spring break, I've really spent the majority of my time transferring all of my information, brainstorming, problem solving, crisis management, and utilizing new platforms and trying to figure out what is going to be the best platform for us to share and engage with content for this class. And so what I've decided on, and we're really going to talk about this and a little bit more in depth throughout the video, but I'm going to utilize these YouTube-like videos a lot more for our online lectures. So we'll talk about that towards the end, and we'll get into the specifics of how that's going to work, and I'm going to show you how to use this and where to find these links. But know that I have selected YouTube because I'm able to craft through a variety of different applications, a screen share type program like what you're seeing. So my face should be on the screen down here, or maybe over here technically for you. And then it'll be able to broadcast my desktop directly to you. I'm able to then convert that video into a YouTube format. And the reason I've selected YouTube is because it's extremely user friendly. It allows for some buffering to happen in case you have slower internet speeds. You can also download these very easily. And the shareable link feature about this makes it a really approachable and user-friendly interface for us. It is also an application that everybody knows of, and you can download the app directly to your phone. So in case you're having issues because you don't have a laptop or a computer, know that the YouTube app that you can get on your phone, aka right here, you can click on that and access all of our videos directly on your phone. Um, so along with this, I think this is going to be the best and most user-friendly kind of way to access our class content. And like I said, I really picked this because I want to make sure this is user-friendly for you guys. I want to make sure that the content is approachable. I want to make sure that it is responding to the current events and how you guys are having to drastically change not only your learning environment, but your physical lives right now. So I want to make sure that this content is fluid enough and flexible enough to meet those new accommodations and demands that you guys have as students. So know, first and foremost, I have your back. I understand and am very, very empathetic to your guys' situation as students right now. I know that I am doing everything I possibly can to secure a good education for you through this new alternative delivery system, as well as something that does reflect the new crises that you may be dealing with at home. And what I mean by that is you did not sign on for an online class, so some of you might not be equipped fully to use computers or have access to computers all the time, or reliable internet. You also may too be watching children at home that are yours, or taking care of siblings that you normally don't have to, or a lot of you work. So I've really designed this class to be a lot more flexible in terms of due dates as well. So we're going to get into all of that. That's going to bring us into our second big point, and this is going to be huge. It's how we communicate together. Communication is going to be key for the success of this class for you. And what I mean by that is our primary mode of communication is going to be the internet via email. So I want you guys to be checking your email every single day. Now, this is going to be the key here. I want you guys to make sure that you are logging on to your UWGB email, okay? Through that email, you will be able to contact me, and I'm very, very good and very flexible in providing you with a variety of means of contacting me. Now, if you have trouble with your internet, or you have a problem logging on with your email sometimes, or if something pops up, there are other alternatives for getting a hold of me and contacting me. Those things may be, you have to call me on my cell phone. So I do list that here on our course syllabus. So if you don't know that, we're going to go ahead and log in onto DLE, and I will go ahead and show you this. We're going to do this in real time so everybody's on the same page. You should know how to do all this stuff. All right, so you're going to go down here, click on Design 131, and click on Syllabus. So all of that course content or contact information is right here. Feel free to contact me during my office hours like normal, which are Tuesday, Thursday from 11 to 12. I'm going to open that window up a lot more, so if you do have an issue, please feel free to contact me, and I'd rather you overly communicate than under communicate at this point. So I'm going to be sending out also weekly emails. And once again, the best email to use is my UWGB email. This is kind of like a little bit of a pro tip here. I am getting a massive amount of emails, whether that be through my department, from UWGB main campus, or from UWGB Marinette campus. Also, a variety of different faculty members are just contacting me constantly, and I them too. So just in case you don't get lost in all of the chains and different email threads that are coming in, it might be a good idea or recommendable to email me directly through Canvas. I will be checking my Canvas email at least twice a day, maybe more than that, just depending. So that's just to make sure nothing falls through the cracks, okay? Um, I also do provide a second email here, lydiadildillian@gmail.com. This is my personal private email that I use for my own artistic business. So this is my artist email. This is where clients come to contact me, but I do provide that for you as well, just in case. And then, of course, my cell phone is available for you to use. Some of you, like I said, might need to call me. I always have this thing on me. If I don't pick up right away, I might call you back. A really, really reliable way to contact me via my phone is through text. So I'd rather you guys send me a text and say, hey, can you chat? And then we can do that. My only thing is with text, make sure you give me some designation about who you are. So put your name and then put some kind of basic information about what class you're in, because I do have a lot of repeating names in different classes, and I do teach a variety of different students in different classes. So just let me know who you are, and so I can calibrate the question appropriately. Okay, so our day today, we're going to scroll down to how our course is going to change. Now, we've had a really, I think, pretty user-friendly so far face-to-face interaction. We've had a lot of good group discussions in class, so I'm sad to see that's going to be changing a little bit. And as I've mentioned multiple times, the first part of the semester was really targeted more towards a lecture format. We did do some group discussions and small group chats about different things that I have lectured on, and that was good, and it was very helpful for that in terms of learning. But I really was excited for the second part of our spring semester after we come back from spring break, because that was much more interactive assignments. And we've talked about this multiple times throughout the semester, that when we come back, we're going to be doing a lot more engaging projects. We're going to be working with each other a little bit more. Our exercises are going to be becoming more part of our class dynamic. So that means I have had to really drastically and radically alter everything that I was doing for this past semester. So how we're going to go about this is essentially we're going to play it week by week. And what I mean by that is we're going to roughly keep in mind our course syllabus calendar. But it's going to change quite a bit. So I would no longer refer to, if there is a journal entry or a quiz that is marked for that date, I would no longer look at that as a valid form of information to use for this class. So what I mean by this is going back to communication. Each week I'm going to send you a very kind of summarizing email for an agenda. And what I mean by that agenda is I'm going to give you what you need to do for week 9, what you're going to do for week 10, what you're going to do for week 11. And it's going to give you essentially a bullet pointed list of the tasks that I am assigning you to either go out and complete and then turn into me, or a series of tasks and lectures to watch and do, and then turn that back into me via Canvas. So let's look at that specifically. So we're going to go over here to courses. We're going to hit our introduction to design and culture. And as normal, it just makes a little bit more visual sense for me to just go to modules, but you can click on this through assignments as well. But through modules, you will be able to see that already our assignment category looks a little bit different. And just to clarify here, this is what our assignments look like. Right? This is what they have looked like thus far, where I give you guys a quiz to complete, workbook projects that I've had you assigned in class, and then I grade in class. But now you can see our projects look very different in the way they are titled and in the way the information is being formatted. So what that means, and it's a lot more user-friendly, is that if you even miss the email with the agenda of tasks, it will be very easy to go and find what week or time that we are in, aka if you're bad with week numbers like week 9, simply just follow March 23rd to the 27th or March 30th to April 3rd. That's going to give you essentially 5 business days of the time period in which I want you to complete this assignment. So just because it is week 9 and this is our intro video, I'm going to do an introduction to your assignments for this week. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and click on week 9, our first assignment. As you can see, there's only one assignment for this week. Now you'll notice this may change as we move into week 10, week 11, week 12, week 13, all the way down to our ending week on week 15. But we're going to go ahead and click on and find out the specifics of week 9. I'm going to click on this. Now, as you can see, you have a full listing of things to do, and it's going to be very, very easy to follow along. Now, here's the really critical part about this course. This is going to require you to read very carefully all of the steps that are listed, the questions that are asked, and the information that is posted. So please follow the assigned steps below to complete the assignment and classwork, for week 9, March 23rd to the 27th. So step 1, you will follow this in order, okay? Step 1, step 2, step 3, whatever. So step 1, watch the film. Please click the link to watch the documentary. So by clicking this is a hyperlink to a video. This is going to take you to a UWGB library resource. This is DocuLink. I believe we've talked about this in class as a viable solution to watching documentaries and educational films. Probably, I think, within the first couple of weeks of class. But as you can see, you're going to have to use your student login and password. Simply push login, and it's going to directly take you to the film. You can then expand it to full screen and then watch it as normal, okay? And we can pause it there, and I will let you watch that. This is a 90-minute long film. It's very good. It's very thorough. I've done quite a bit of research on this film too, and it has a really nice way of linking it to contemporary topics. Now, of course, this class is specifically designed and engaged to talk about critical fields of design and how design has shifted in contemporary and modern practices to talk about the consumer and how the economic factors play into design and vice versa, right? So all of these kind of films, especially for the second part of the semester, are really going to talk a lot more about contemporary practices in design, and also how the modern era and the modern contemporary era are really shaping the consumer and how we make and think about products and design. Okay, so I'm really thinking about all of those kind of things putting into this information. Okay, so that's what you have to do this week. And then after that, after you watch your film, you're going to move on to step 2. Respond to the question prompts below. Now, as you'll notice, there's quite a bit of list of questions. There's 7 questions for you guys to answer. Some of them can be quite long or in-depth of questions like these, and then some of them are a little bit more straightforward in the requirements for answering them accurately. As for specifics, 1, who, where, when was the Bauhaus founded? Then I give you a preface, so any of these little kind of brackets, those are just essentially prefaces giving you more specific parameters in which to engage or answer the question. Please feel free to use your course text to find this information. So, or for this information, excuse me. So this is going to help you to kind of engage with that territory of what I'm asking for in defining that question and a little bit more specific terms. All right, so after that, step 3, submit question responses to Canvas. So write your question in a Word document. I always recommend that. Then copy paste the text into a text entry section in Canvas. Write in size 12 font. Use default font in Canvas, which could either be Calibri or Arial. Do not double space or indent. No bibliography needed. And then after that, there will be a line usually. This kind of line is kind of a formatting trick to designate different territories. As you can see here, I have a territory for basically the assignment block header, and then the steps to follow to complete that assignment. Then it ends, and then it gives you writing requirements listed below. So for this, you have a couple of requirements. These will most likely look pretty similar each time if they're writing questions like like this. I might even just copy paste this format into previous sections or modules for future use, just because this is a pretty clear outline. But make sure to read these in case formatting changes, okay? And that's key. You got to read critically here. Answer the writing prompt to the best of your ability. That's number one. Second point here is answer. Sorry. It's not highlighting. There we go. Okay. The assignment is a creative and comprehensive writing challenge. Complete your helping you critically think and use the knowledge gained through this course and the film in a didactic way. There is no specific limit to the length of writing required, and this is the important part, hence why it's in bold and underlined. That's when you know it's important. Excuse me. Rather than think about the specific measurement of writing like a paragraph or page, think about whether you are able to express your idea and answer the writing prompt in a fully completed and resolved manner. So that's the critical part, right? And now granted, when I have more complicated questions, as I mentioned previously in questions 6 and 7, these are going to require a lot more intellectual engagement, meaning that you're going to have to critically think, you're going to have to relate personal experiences and extrapolate that knowledge and synthesize it from the video or the lecture that I've asked you guys to watch or do, right? So these questions can be a little bit more lengthy. And now granted, you should be editing these quite a bit. So it's not just word vomited out and then send, right? It's word vomited out, revise it and reread, edit it, and then go through it again and edit it again, all right? Find if there's any missing chunks to your statement. Are your connecting sentences making sense? Does your idea flow fluidly, sentence to sentence or paragraph to paragraph, okay? That's the big key. Edit your information and make sure the information is succinct with what you were trying to say. If there's areas or gray areas that kind of pop up and you say that doesn't really make sense to me, try bullet pointing it out, okay? And then rewriting the sentence. Or if you're having a really hard time, try bullet points, okay? That's a good way to maybe answer that. Okay, so after that, I give you a really beautiful little formatting section. So example response question format. It should look something like the statement below. So I give you how I want the questions to look like. And yes, I do want it formatted like this. I'm going to be reading a lot. So that means that I'm going to rely on you guys to make sure the format is easy for me to read. You want to be very kind to me right now because I'm going above and beyond in a lot of areas, and I don't want to have to mess through a weird formatting situation where it's unclear. And this goes back to that idea of communication again. If you're clearly communicating your idea in a format that's very recognizable and user-friendly to me, I'm going to be able to actually read it and sit down, give it the due diligence that I should be giving it, instead of trying to figure out where it's going and what idea is where and chasing around that and getting me stalled up quite a bit. So make sure you are following the format. So question 1 or Q1 period, and then the question is listed here in its entirety. You can also see too, I have italicized the question so it registers visually different than your answer below it. Simply just push space bar, there we go, A1 or answer 1, the Bauhaus was founded by ... then you would answer it, right? Then double space, move on to your second question. That format is then going to be repeated for the entirety of all 7 questions, okay? This format is going to stay the same for any kind of writing question that's like this in the future, okay? And this only really retains or applies to response questions that are formatted such as this. I always want you to read the writing requirements or formatting just in case something does change though, okay? If it looks like this after you skim it, then you'll know it'll be the same. Points, this is where 12 points. It's going to be submitted in a text box entry system. So when it should have a little prompt up here for you to start it, and then I think it's submit down here, okay? You guys have done this in the past for this class online, so this should look very similar to you. the due date. Now you're going to notice that this is a 5-day long assignment block period, meaning 5 business days, Monday through Friday, right? Now, if you'll notice, the due date is going to be March 28th, so that's technically 6 days. I am giving you 6 full days to complete all of the assignments for each and every single week, okay? So meaning all due dates are going to be on Saturday at 11:59 p.m. and that will always stay consistent throughout the duration of this class. Now, as I mentioned, sometimes you may have 2 assignments, sometimes you may have 1, you may even have 3 assignments. Those assignments can greatly vary. And what I mean by that is we're going to just click out of here, go to modules again, and we're going to look at Week 10. Week 10, you have 2 assignments due. All right, there is a difference. You can see assignment 1 and assignment 2. Now, they can vary, as I mentioned. These can be exercises. They could be maybe responses. They could be drawings that I have you do. Oh, yes, that's going to be exciting. And you'll have to take a picture and upload it. All right. Or they could be quizzes. Or perhaps I post a series of lectures and I have you respond to some questions at the bottom of those lectures. So that's all going to vary. So you're going to have to critically read the assignment, and then remember, it's always going to be laid out in a very similar format. I'm always going to have a kind of header block like this. There's going to be a line indicating the start of the steps to complete the project. Then it'll say step 1 in a very clear way, watch lectures, right? Then you may have a series of lectures that are posted there to YouTube links that I post. And then there might be a series of questions, then you would submit it to Canvas, all right? Or perhaps you take a quiz instead. And if it's in a quiz, we've got an example to show you. It'll have assignment 1. That'll be a series of lectures and questions posted or something, or a series of lectures. And then there'll be a quiz that you take. And I'll say complete, go move on to your quiz section for this unit, right? It'll say something very clear that you guys know. All right, so we're going to be playing this a little bit year by year. I'm going to be kind of just letting you guys know what we're going to be doing on a week-to-week basis, since I have had to change so much in such a drastic time. But I do want to make sure it is really user-friendly. For the duration of the class, in-class assignments and the quiz section or group projects will no longer be of use to you. So I'm going to go ahead and not publish these anymore, so you guys won't even physically see these. And we will also be reevaluating our class PowerPoints. So that's going to get us into our 4th point and how we're going to access information. As we just went over, our main form of access is going to be utilizing our Canvas module system. And what I mean by that is this is a module block. These are assignments, right, that are in these modules. And these modules are week-to-week modules. And you are going to complete the series of tasks that are in those modules through the different linked sources that I may give. All right. So all of the links are going to be kind of links that are maybe through YouTube or different websites, or possibly through the library system here at UWGB, such as we just saw through this one. Now, that gets into our last point, point 5, and that's talking about our lecture format and how our lectures are going to change. Now, normally, as Elijah likes to watch, I like to do lectures and I dim the lights and I start just waxing poetic about all of these great designers. And I know some of you, like Elijah, like that format. Some of you, that's not the most ideal way of learning, but it is the best proven way for going through a large amount of information, which we have for this class. And I think I've done a pretty good job breaking some of that lecture format up by engaging you guys with questions and group exercises and different homework activities to kind of synthesize that learning on a different platform or in different ways. But now our lectures are going to change quite a bit. So what I mean by that is, rather than me doing a lecture for an hour or an hour and a half, I am going to break up our book text quite a bit, and I'm going to really focus in on a time period talk about the historical context, the economic factors, and those kind of moving components that the market has and plays on design, and then focus in on a couple of key designers in that time period. I'm going to show you a couple of their works, and we're going to discuss them in length, and that will be it. So meaning our lectures are going to get much smaller in some ways, and they're going to be much more well, they'll be more broken up. There will be more like modules almost of videos. So I will host, when I post a lecture series on our module blocks, there will most likely be 3 or 4, 5, 6, or even 7 different small YouTube videos. And I will always be able to kind of do it like this, where you'll have my face on a screen, and then you'll be able to see my desktop. And when I'm able to run through things, I will be able to use Google Slides and or just type in something and have a nice big image up there for you, and we'll be able to talk about an area or a design and the kind of impacts, socioeconomic impacts or whatever those impacts may be, and talk about the specifics of how that affected the design and what design is doing. So I may end up showing certain slides like this, pushing present, and then once it loads, be able to run through the course content like normal, right? Be able to direct yourselves to, you know, slides that may have more information so you guys can view that. Then it'll be good because then you can pause the video, stop, play, reverse it, and rewatch it as needed, right? So that's going to be the new format for our lectures. They will be much smaller, and they will be broken up into kind of isolated chunks. So they'll be like it'll be like real YouTube, but with a better educational grasp, right? Okay, so that is the new class overview. I hope this video has helped calm your fears, but also provide a really good amount of guidance in terms of how we're going to treat this class moving forward. And our main mode of communication, like I said, is going to be through email. I will be posting announcements as always. I'm going to just essentially, whenever there is an email that I send out, I'm going to copy paste it, plug it into our announcements, push save or publish, and then you'll be able to get that information too. So there'll be like double communications, right? I am available for you guys. Know that I am sensitive to everything that's going on right now. I'm just as much as affected as you are. And I think that there is some solace that can be granted in that, that we are all in this together. And I know it's scary. I know there's a lot of things going on. And a lot of our lives are being drastically affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. So whether you're, you know, not in the US or you're back at home or you're in the dorms, we're going to work through this together. We're going to get through it. And yeah, we're going to be okay. Feel free to contact me via phone or text or email if you have any questions, okay? Good luck on week 9. I will send you, as we move forward, I will keep sending you updates and your agenda topics to tackle. And if we need to, we'll start scheduling some Skype calls in case you guys want to get together as a group, okay? We'll play that by ear, and we're just going to kind of roll with the punches here, all right? If you need anything, you know what to do. Give me a call or shoot me a text or an email. All right. Have a good night.